Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. How are you today on a Thursday? I'm looking at my computer. It says it's minus 10 outside in Elliott Lake right now. So, not that cold. Not that cold. All right, let's get started. I want to welcome you to day 4, already day 4 to our Path of Happiness series. I'm Linda G. Robert. Of course, I'm your Back in the Groove Again coach. I'm your travel coach and a travel agent with Travel Only. Now, today we are talking about the pillars of the heart, emotions, and relationships. And before we dive in, I want to revisit the definition of happy for no reason. Now, Marcy Shimoff, she's the one that wrote the book Happy for No Reason. She describes it as having an inner state of peace and well-being that doesn't depend on our circumstances or external things outside of you. It's a happiness that comes from within, regardless of what's happening around you. And of course, if you want a copy of the happiness questionnaire, go to my website, lindagrobert.com, happiness questionnaire. All right. So over the past few days, we've explored the need to take full responsibility for our lives. We've talked about letting go of blame and of not complaining and shifting our mindset by focusing on the good things in our life. And we've also discussed the pillars of the soul and how practices like journaling and like positive affirmations and like meditation, how those things can nourish and strengthen that part of us, that part of our soul. And now we're going to talk about the pillars of the heart and how we manage our emotions and how we manage our relationships. That's at the core of living a happy and fulfilling life. So when we take the time to understand and nurture our emotions and build meaningful connections, we create a strong foundation for joy and, of course, of well-being. So we're going to start with emotional awareness. Now, emotional well-being begins with acknowledging and accepting your emotions instead of suppressing and instead of just pretending they don't exist. So I want you to think about, let's see now, when you push your emotions aside, right? When you pretend that you're not upset or that you're not sad, for example, what happens? They're still there. They don't disappear. Instead, they might tend to bubble up in unexpected ways, like maybe snapping at someone when you're stressed out or feeling completely drained when you've ignored your needs for too long. So instead, you might want to consider something like this. So when you're feeling overwhelmed or you're feeling upset, take a moment to pause and ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? What am I feeling right now? And what do I need in this moment? What do I need right now? And I'm going to share a few examples with you. So if you're feeling stressed, for example, you might take a 5-minute break to breathe deeply and maybe just go outside for some fresh air, right? You might need that when you're feeling stressed. You might need to take a 5-minute break. You might need to take a nice breath or a few breaths or just to go outside for a walk. Or maybe if you're feeling lonely, you got that loneliness feeling inside you. What do you think you need? Well, you might need to reach out to a friend. You might need to reach out to a loved one for a really quick chat. Give her a call, give him a call and say, hey, you got time for a coffee? Let's get together for a coffee. That's it, right? Or if you're feeling angry, what do you think you need when you're feeling angry? You might need to take a step back You might need to journal your thoughts, get everything out on paper. You might need to do some physical activity. Have you ever noticed when you do some physical activity that when you're done that brisk walk, for example, you don't even remember what you're angry about? You might need some laughter. I remember I was feeling really bluesy quite a few years ago on a Saturday, and I decided to watch a movie. Now, this was a comedy called The Wedding Singer. That's what it was. And after I finished watching this movie, I didn't really remember why I was sad. Actually, it didn't even come up. So, whether it's physical activity or whether it's watching a movie, ask yourself that question. If you're angry, what do I need to do right now? Right? What do I need to do? If you're feeling sad, what do you need? Well, you might need to let yourself cry. You might need to listen to some comforting music. Maybe you need to engage in a nurturing type of activity, like wrapping yourself up in a cozy blanket, or just reading a really good book, one of your favorite books. Maybe that's all you need to do. So ask yourself, right? What am I feeling and what do I need right now? Now, the key is to tune into your emotions and to ask yourself very simple questions. What am I feeling? And what is my body or my mind asking for right now? That simple act of awareness can make a huge difference. And of course, we talked about mindfulness meditation yesterday, being in silence and noticing what you're feeling in that moment. When you spend some time noticing your thoughts, when you're spending some time noticing your sensations, not judging them, but just noticing them, it builds your awareness muscle. I know when I first started mindfulness meditation quite a few years ago, I noticed that I breathed. I know it sounds silly, but I didn't really pay attention to my breath before. I noticed that I have all these different thoughts that go in and out of my mind too. I noticed that. And I noticed sometimes different sensations when I was feeling sad or when I was feeling anger. So I didn't judge them. I didn't say, "Oh, that's a bad thought. I shouldn't feel that way." I didn't say that. I just noticed them. I've got these thoughts. I just noticed them. And that makes you develop that awareness muscle that I'm talking about. So when you allow yourself to respond to your emotions in a healthy way, you become more resilient. We talked about that yesterday. And you become more grounded. You're no longer reacting impulsively. You're meeting your needs with care and with compassion. And remember, emotions aren't something to fix. You don't have to fix your emotions, right? They're signals. They're little indications that you might need something. That's all it is. And the more you listen, the more you pay attention, the more you'll get a deeper understanding of what you're all about, what this emotion's all about. And of course, the more you'll be able to support yourself and sometimes supporting others as well. Now, other than emotional awareness, cultivating happiness habits for the heart can significantly improve your well-being. So these habits focus on fostering positive emotions and strengthening your relationships. So now we're going to explore three very powerful practices. And the first one, if we talked about this one already, the first one is to develop gratitude. And I know we've talked a lot about this. It's because it's an important practice. It's an important habit to have. Now, gratitude is a simple but transformative habit. I think the more you do it, the more you understand how it can change you. We have talked about this before, so I'm not going to focus a lot about this. But what I wanted to talk about more is savoring. I want to talk more about savoring. So when we add savoring to gratitude, well, that's a whole different, that's a whole different level. I know yesterday we practiced some gratitude, but today I want to focus more on this, adding the savoring to this mix. And savoring is about fully embracing, fully experiencing, and appreciating the present moment. And whether it's, I don't know, enjoying a delicious meal or feeling the warmth of the sun when you go outside, or even feeling the breeze on your skin when you go outside, and really feeling it, really being in that moment, feeling the snow on your face if it's winter like it is now, and soaking it just all in. Now I'm going to give you an example in a second. I have some strawberries here. I hope you can see my strawberries. So I have some strawberries here, and I'm going to eat my strawberry, but I'm not just going to eat it. I'm going to savor it, right? I'm going to savor it. So I'm going to take one strawberry out, but before I eat it, I'm going to look at it, and I'm going to feel it. And it's so interesting when we take the time to look at our food. In this case, I'm looking at the strawberry. I'm really being present with the strawberry. And I know this might sound really strange to you, but bear with me. So I'm looking at it, I'm noticing all the seeds, a lot of seeds on this. And I'm smelling it. And I'm noticing how sweet that strawberry smell is. And now I'm just going to just take a little bite. But as I'm biting it, I'm noticing the juices that go in my mouth. Slowly. Slowly chewing it. Very, very slowly. And smelling it. It's really good. It's really good. I'm going to take one more bite here because I hate to just leave it like that. I want you to try that. I'm just going to put it on the side here. I want you to try that. So right now we're talking about savoring, right? I'd like you to try savoring a piece of orange or savoring anything, really. Savoring, I have some tea here. It's peppermint tea. You can't really smell it with the rubber on top of it like this. I could smell it more now. And so I'm going to just take a sip of my tea. And I can taste it. And depending on where it's going on my tongue, of course, I can taste it differently. So we're talking about savoring, all right? Now, pair the savoring with gratitude by silently or even verbally acknowledging that moment. So, for example, when you savor a strawberry, it's not about rushing through it. It's about immersing yourself in that sensory experience and feeling grateful, right? Feeling grateful for something as simple as a strawberry. So it's a beautiful way to bring mindfulness and joy to everyday moments. Now, it doesn't have to be big things. It could be as simple as a warm cup of coffee or a tea, or hearing your favorite song and really listening to it and maybe even moving to it, or receiving a kind word from a friend, or savoring a strawberry. Over time, that habit trains your brain to notice and to appreciate the good in your life, which of course enhances your overall well-being. So, okay, we've talked about awareness, and we're going to switch gears now. We're going to talk about forgiveness. This is the second habit. We're talking about the pillars of the heart, right? Love. So let's talk about forgiveness. Now we know that carrying resentment and grudges can weigh heavily on your heart. You feel this heaviness, and sometimes you might not even remember why you're resenting this person, why you're holding grudges, but you're still feeling it energetically in your body. So forgiveness isn't about excusing someone's behavior, excusing what they've said. It's really more about you freeing yourself from that emotional burden of anger or of pain. And ask yourself, who do I need to forgive? And what would it feel like to let go of that pain or of that hurt or of that anger? So, who do I need to forgive? And what would it feel like if I just let go of that anger, or hurt, or pain? So, this could be forgiving someone else or even forgiving yourself. You want to start small, right? You don't have to confront anyone directly. You don't have to at all. Now, sometimes if you can, great, prepare yourself ahead of time. But it could be as simple as saying to yourself, I release this pain and choose peace. I release this anger and choose peace, for example. Now, forgiveness lightens your emotional load and opens up that space for greater love. Remember, we were talking about expansion, for greater love and greater happiness instead of feeling like this, right? Keeping it to yourself like that. Now, many, many years ago, I remember vividly, I was so angry. I was so angry over something that happened between my boyfriend, ex-boyfriend now, at the time. I kept thinking of ways that I could take him to court. I was ruminating. I was almost obsessed thinking about taking him to small claims court. And that used up a lot of energy, used up a lot of negative energy. And one day, I think I was just getting tired of being angry. I think that's what it was. I decided to forgive him. Now, I didn't talk to him. I never approached him when I forgave him. I just did a series of things that included saying it out loud. I forgive you, Nick. I forgive you for convincing me to buy all of these things and getting into major debt. And I forgive you, Linda, for convincing him that it was okay to buy it. It's okay. We're fine. We'll be okay. And basically, I wanted to please him and I wanted to please his children. But so I said it out loud, but I also wrote a series of letters, different letters, which were never ever mailed. And sometimes I had to write another one and I had to write another one and I would burn some of them and other ones I would just put them aside. And over time, that really helped me to feel a lot lighter. You know, I didn't think the same way about him. I didn't think the same way about what happened. I didn't think the same way about my part in that too. I didn't feel the same way at all about it once I went through, that whole process. I started accepting it. I forgave him, I forgave me, and I moved on. And I looked at what I learned from that experience as well. We talked about that yesterday, right? The lessons that are learned. Now, one of the most beautiful practices for the heart is spreading loving kindness, not just to others, but also to ourselves as well. So, this is the third habit. It involves intentionally sending thoughts of love and goodwill to yourself, to loved ones, to acquaintances, and even people you may be struggling with. A simple way to practice this is through a loving kindness meditation. And you can do it now if you'd like. If you want, you can join along with me. So I invite you to close your eyes if you're comfortable in doing so. If you're listening to the recording, you can do that as well. All right, so if you're comfortable in doing so, you may also place your hands on top of your heart. and silently repeat after me. You can do it quietly. You could say it out loud if nobody else is around and you're okay with that. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be safe. May I live with ease. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be safe. May I live with ease. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be safe. May I live with ease. Then you want to extend those wishes to others. And you can just choose a person's name. It could be someone that you're upset with, for example, or it could be someone that you love too. May Joe be happy. May Joe be healthy. May Joe be safe. May Joe be at ease. May Joe be happy. May Joe be healthy. May Joe be safe. And may Joe be at ease. Let's do it one more time. May Joe be happy. May Joe be healthy. May Joe be safe. May Joe be at ease. And notice how you feel, right? Notice how you feel. This practice helps you to cultivate compassion and connection, and it brings you warmth and joy to your heart, and of course into your life and into your relationships. It expands that positive energy that we talked about. So these last habits can help, of course, with relationships. But we know that not all relationships are created equal. So it's important to focus on the ones that truly uplift and support you, right? Ask yourself, who are the people in my life who make me feel seen? Who are the people in my life that make me feel heard, that make me feel valued? Who are these people? You might want to write them down, right? So those are the connections that are worth nurturing, right? Those that make you feel valued and loved and cared for. So building those meaningful relationships take time. Yeah, they take time. They take effort, but it's worth it. It's worth it. And remember, it's okay to set boundaries with relationships that drain your energy. Of course, because that helps to protect your emotional well-being. And it's an act of self-care. So you might choose to not spend as much time with people that drain your energy. Or you might choose to say something like, I'd love to talk to you more about it, but I don't really want to do that right now. Let's talk about something that's good going on in our life, for example, right? Setting boundaries is an act of self-care and self-love. All right, so we've talked about gratitude, so I'm going to keep this part really brief. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you shift your perspective from scarcity to abundance. And it's not just about ignoring, the challenges and pretending that everything is perfect in your life. No, it's about choosing to notice the good that's already in your life. And gratitude helps you to see that even in difficult times, there's always something to appreciate. So here's something I want you to try. When you're having a challenging day, okay, let's pretend that today is a challenging day. Maybe you're just upset about something, or maybe you're sad. Challenge yourself to write down all of the things that you're grateful for. So you're sad, all right. You're angry, all right. Take some time to write down everything that you're grateful for at this time in your life. As many things as you can think of. Now, here's a little added challenge. Don't just write what you're grateful for. Go beyond that by adding why you're grateful for it. So I'm grateful for my morning coffee. That's an example. Okay, let's go a little bit beyond that. So instead of just reflecting on I'm grateful for my morning coffee, you want to add the why. So I'm grateful for my morning coffee because it gives me a moment of calm to start my day. When I smell it, I just love smelling that fresh smell of coffee. And when I feel the cup, like when I feel this cup, I feel the warmth in my hands. It reminds me to pause and enjoy a very small pleasure. All right, so that's an example. I'm going to give you another example. Instead of simply saying, I'm grateful for my best friend, think about what they bring to your life. So the why you're grateful for your best friend. So I'm grateful for my best friend because their support helps me, lifts me up, when I feel down. They make me laugh like no one else does. And they remind me that I'm not alone. See how when you've added the why, I'm grateful for my best friend because she loves me. She makes me laugh. She reminds me that I am not alone. So notice that as you keep going with these types of expressions of gratitude, you'll notice that it rewires your brain to focus on the good things in life. So there was a challenge for you, right? If you're feeling upset, sad, anger, whatever it is, it's a negative energy, an energy that contracts you. Turn it around by taking time to think about everything you're grateful for, but not just listing what you're grateful for, but the why you're grateful for that. All right, it's time to journal. So it's time to take a moment to reflect now. If you have your journal with you, if you have a notebook with you, if you're looking at the replay, think about these questions here. Are you ready? All right. So how do I typically handle my emotions? What can I do to improve my emotional well-being? So how do I typically handle my frustrations? And what can I do to improve this? Number 2, who are the people that bring joy in my life and who support me? Who are these people? And how could I strengthen these relationships? And we're going to talk more about relationships tomorrow as well. And number 3, what are 3 things that I'm grateful for today? And why am I grateful for these things? So take a couple of minutes, to write down your thoughts. It's your time, really. The bonus about journaling is that you connect with yourself. It's about the only time during the day sometimes that you are able to just stop and be one with you and your thoughts and your feelings. And it helps to set intentions for the next days ahead. All right, so as we wrap up day 4, remember that emotional well-being and meaningful relationships are the foundation for happiness. And when you take the time to acknowledge your emotions, when you nurture your connections, when you really practice the gratitude and, of course, add savoring to your life, of course, you create a life that's filled with joy, that's filled with fulfillment. So thank you for being here. And of course, if you want a copy of my happiness quiz, go to my website, lindagrobert.com/happiness questionnaire. Now, tomorrow, it's all about the garden. So we're going to talk about relationships, but also about the transformative power of nature. Have yourself a wonderful day. Bye. Take care now. Good afternoon. And I'll see you soon. See you tomorrow, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Take care.